Well, good morning, everyone. Get going here. Good morning. How's everybody doing today? Whoops, there we go. Good morning. We're going to get going here in just a minute as people are jumping on. Janet, good to see you here this morning. Shelly, good to see you. Are we having coffee later today? We never discussed it, so let me know if you've got time. Let's see, Nancy, you're on. Good morning to you too. Is it raining there in Kansas City? And Terry is on. Good to see you, Terry. And Gina is on. Terry, I think you're getting ready for your big fashion show. And Gina just finished hers. So I know you guys are super busy. And Connie, you're on. And Connie, actually, we're going to be talking about you a little bit today too. Dino is on. Good to have you as well. Let's see, I think we are going to get going. I'm going to do the little countdown here on Facebook. Terry says, yes, this Saturday. Well, I'm sure you've got lots to be doing. And next week, we're going to be celebrating your big win after that. I think, I know you've had some challenges with the venue that you were using, has, I think, closed, and they're opening just for you. So that's awesome. So here we go. I'm going to go live on Facebook, and I'll be right back, and we will get started with our content. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Oh, it's not connecting. There we go. Well, good morning, everyone, again. If you're just joining me, welcome. My name is Vicki Adrian, and I am a longtime retailer, and I've been in the little town of Buhler, Kansas for over 30 years. And like many of you, I've had a lot of experiences in retail, and I love to help other business owners grow their own businesses through long-term relationship marketing. And so Maya is saying hello to you too. It is just always very good to have you. And you know, as we're trying this new concept of Facebook Live and Periscope at the same time, you'll just have to forgive me if I'm not looking you directly in your eyes, because of course my parents trained me that when we speak to someone, we look at them in the eye. And so I'm having a little trouble with going back and forth. So, but here we go. We are going to be talking about something that I think is just very important here today. We're still continuing our productivity week, and it's time for a fresh start. We've got 3 top tips for you today, plus we're going to be celebrating some wins. This is episode 165, and oh my goodness, it's flown by. Hello from France, good to see you too, and we're going to get rid of, whoops, that one. We don't need that kind of language. So, okay, here we go. So the new year is not the only time to commit to a fresh start. In fact, for me, it's generally spring by the time I just get very inspired to make some changes and just start over in various areas of my life. So this might come from driving by all of the beautiful temporary garden centers that are set up in all the grocery store parking lots this time of year. And there's just so many beautiful colors of flowers, and they're so tempting to me, even though I don't have a green thumb, and I'm generally going to be the kiss of death for any that I buy. Or it's just driving in today, I was noticing just how beautiful our wheat fields are here. Now, if you're not from Kansas, you probably picture wheat fields as the golden grains waving in the wind. But this time of year, the wheat is about a foot high, and it is just this brilliant green, and it's just so pretty. And so, you know, this time of year, everything just seems fresh and clean and new. And after a Kansas thunderstorm, it smells so good, and it feels good outside, and it feels like time for a change, time to clean some things up. So I was so inspired when I checked my messages this morning early, and I had a video from our friend Connie Gaunt, who's the owner of Jean Allen's Gifts in Arlington, Texas. So she and her daughter tore into Connie's office space, and they had a massive clean out this week in preparation for a meeting that will soon be held at her store. And so I'm hoping to figure out, and Connie, you'll have to help me with this. I'm trying to figure out a way that we can post your video over to the Remarkable Retailer Facebook page, because I think it will inspire you to take action and clean your own office. So she did an amazing job, and she truly is one of our remarkable retailers, and I just love that. So she threw out tons of catalogs and clutter and piles, and you know, there's just all this stuff that infiltrates our space, and she is left with a totally clean desk. All that was on her desk was a beautiful blotter and a calculator and some pens. And I mean, I just love that. All of her office equipment is dusted. Oh my goodness. Let's see what happened. There we go. Let me get back. It's dusted, it's cleaned, there's the piles on the floors are gone, and her office really reflects who Connie is. And it's awesome. So check on our Facebook page later today. We will try to figure that out. So we had our own episode a couple of weeks back where I talked about my own Come to Jesus meeting in my office, and I had a day of this massive clean out, after which I filled an entire trash dumpster with unwanted and unnecessary clutter from my own office space. And I will try to post some pictures of my office space here later today too. So this had in turn inspired Connie, and I hope now this inspired Connie, and I hope now that both of our stories will inspire you to take control of your own work area. So today, my office is still clean. It's amazing. I don't go home at night until my workspace is clean and straightened up, and it just makes such a difference in my attitude when I arrive at work and face a clean office. And so the creativity just seems to flow much easier. So I hope that in itself, just working in a clean workspace, is very good for your productivity. You come in, you know where things are, and you can just get started. You're not surrounded by stuff that is just sucking the energy right out of you. So life is just full of new beginnings. So here's some valuable advice to help you along the way. So we can make fresh starts in other areas of our work lives as well. So here's a few ideas from an article I read in Fast Company, which is, I love that magazine, by the way. So number one, be willing to change. To stay relevant as you move forward in life, you have to be willing to embrace change, says Jason Jennings, author of The Reinventors. What got you where you are today isn't going to get you where you want to go tomorrow. So acknowledge that what got you where you are today isn't going to take you where you want tomorrow, says Jennings, who cites Borders as an example of what can happen if you don't let go. They refused to change and held on to what had made the money in the past, and it proved fatal for the big Borders, the big book chain. And, you know, for us, we have to be willing to change as well. We have to let go. If you're a retailer like I am, you've got to let go of lines that may have been very productive for you in the past and bring in new things that are scary, and that you're investing money in departments that you've never had before. And I just think this is so relevant to those of us that are retailers. Our stores are not museums. We have got to let go. If it's not selling, even if you love it, even if your sister loves it, if it's not selling, your customers are not voting for that item with their dollars, and you need to keep things they are voting for with their dollars. So if you've got a category that has just died, discount it, get rid of it. If it won't sell on a discount, donate it, get it out the door. It's taking up your physical space, and it's also draining your energy. So that is our number one. Number two, talk to strangers. I love this because I like to talk to strangers, especially at market. So the majority of your future successes are waiting outside your immediate network, says Judy Robinette, author of How to Be a Power Connector. And I am totally getting this book. So she says it's where the gold is. But most of us just talk to strangers 2 to 3% of the time. And she says, open yourself to new opportunities by looking approachable. Assume the other person is shy and say hello. Then find common ground on which to start a conversation. If there is something of interest, don't be afraid to ask for that person's contact information and then follow up. So you don't have to be an extrovert to talk to a stranger, she says. We're also worried that what other people might think about us. The truth is that no one cares because they're worried about themselves. And an example of this, oh my goodness, one of my wonderful mentors and best friends is Terry King, who is on here today. We met, and if you've listened to me very long, you've heard about our story that we met on a telephone conference call. And Terry and I just had a connection over the phone, and we finally met at the next market that we were both attending, and we immediately became friends. We absolutely loved talking together. We still enjoy talking together to be with Terry. So talk to strangers. Another example is I was in line to get for a taco bar at a showroom at the Atlanta market in January, and just standing in line with two other ladies, and found out they were from Nebraska and owned a similar shop. And now we had such a good time. We ended up spending the evening with them, ran into them a couple of other times at market, and ended up inviting them to come to another show, which they came. We met their husband, and the story will go on from there. We've become friends, but we've also helped each other through business. Then that connection, because they are florists, our friend Gina Vineyard, who is also a florist up in Wyoming, they've made connections, and that relationship has been helpful to both of them. And so I cannot overemphasize the importance of talking to strangers when you're in a professional setting, especially. So if you're at a market and you're going to have lunch, you're there by yourself, don't go sit at an empty table. Join a group that's already there. Ask if you can join them, and then introduce yourself, learn from them, and connect with them later. So, okay, I could talk about that all day. Number 3, don't worry about the big picture. Celebrate every little milestone. So in this article it says, finally the road ahead can feel long and overwhelming. To alleviate some of the stress, focus on milestones, says Jones Laughlin, co-author of Getting to It. Milestones are everywhere. The first semester of college, the first week of a new job, the first client that you get in the door. So Laughlin shared the story of a friend who started running. So instead of focusing on miles, he worked on running from one utility pole to the next utility pole. It made the process feel much more doable. So concentrate on staying focused for an hour or for a day instead of looking at everything that is ahead. And we talk a lot here about focusing and theming our days and just having a plan. And so instead of thinking, oh, I need to come up with a big plan, you don't need to do that. Start with today. Get 1 hour to work by yourself. Shut the door. If you don't know what to do, just brainstorm on a yellow notepad and just get started. I think that is so important. So here's some things that I've heard about just in the last week, milestones in businesses. Flo and Steve from Michigan getting their card racks reset, their Hallmark stores. And so just starting with that clean aisle, they sent a picture yesterday of a card rack aisle with not a single card in it. That is a big job. But if you focus just on one 4-foot section at a time, you're going to get it done. It's going to take time. But it was a great example. So Connie cleaning the office. I mean, that's a great example. Yes, it took several hours. It took action to make that happen. Connie says, I filled up 4 large boxes of recycled paper and catalogs, and my clean space inspires others. Absolutely. And we're going to figure out a way to get that on the website here today. So the other thing, hosting a fashion show. I know Gina just hosted a fashion show this last weekend. Connie had one this last weekend as well. Both of them faced real adversity in it. Gina had a snowstorm, a big snowstorm that made national news. And Connie had torrential rains in the Dallas, Arlington area. And so, but yet the show went on and they were both successful, but it just takes it takes action. It just takes action. So your milestone might be hiring your first manager, or like we talked about yesterday, hiring a bookkeeper for 1 or 2 hours a week that will free you up to do your best work. So those are just some ideas for you. So at the beginning of this episode, I was talking about Connie and the fact that she took action. So another friend of mine, Shelly Bartell, a friend right here in town, she's the owner of Bartell Cabinet Shops, heard Gail Blank speak at a conference that she was at in Florida, and she recommended her book, Throw Out 50 Things. And I'm going to hold it up here. There's the book, Throw Out 50 Things. Clear the Clutter, Find Your Life. And although she talks about the transformational process of finding clarity in your closet at home, her true message is to business owners and professionals who want to move forward in their business life as well. So you might want to pick up a copy of that. I will try to post that over to our Facebook page on Remarkable Retailer later today. And then finally, a shout out to fellow Periscoper Catherine Tatum. Catherine is the owner of Classic Legacy Custom Gifts in Memphis, Tennessee, And we connected this last week after I listened to one of her Periscope episodes. And I just want to restate the fact it is so important to reach out and expand your professional and your personal relationships. We had so much in common. We had an instant connection, kind of like Terry and I had. We just had this instant connection because Catherine and I speak the same language. She's been in retail for like 25 years. We just instantly bonded. And so I would encourage you to check out her scope. She's at 10:30 weekdays under the Classic Legacy name. And she does custom gifts, very different really from a lot of what we do here in our retail store, but beautiful. She showed some beautiful sunflower gifts that she does yesterday. And so don't be afraid. It goes back to our number 2 tip today. Don't be afraid to reach out and to talk to other people. So I want to thank you so much for joining me today. We've had a little blipping in and out going on here on Periscope lately, but I want to thank you for hanging in there with me. I'm just honored that you take time to spend with me each day. And if you've got a win, I want to know about it. I would love to know what your wins are this week. And I look forward to hearing from you. So if you're listening today and you're not already on the Remarkable Retailer email list, just please take 30 seconds and join us today. Go to remarkableretailer.com, click on my picture, it's in the corner there, and put in your name and your email, and we have a wonderful free resource for you today. Let's see. And then you can catch over 90 episodes here of The Remarkable Retailer, and the Kitchen Boss joined. Good to have you. I'm seeing lots of new names today. But if you enjoy this content, you can see, I think we've got about 90 episodes over there now, and they're all listed, with the title, so you can see what the category is. They are on our Vimeo page, and it's vimeo.com/Vicki Adrian. It's VICKI. So, and then of course we'd love to have you come over to our Facebook page. I consider that my tip jar. If you like what you're hearing, like the Remarkable Retailer Facebook page and leave us a comment. I love to know what you're thinking and talking about. And you can always email me, of course, Vicki@remarkableretailer.com. So until tomorrow, keep the faith, have a great day, get a trash can out. At least you don't have to clean your own whole office. Just fill one trash can today. And we will see you back here tomorrow morning. Again, thank you to everyone that's joined. If you've joined in late, please just listen to the replay, and we will try to catch you tomorrow morning. I usually scope about 8:15 Central Time. And as always, good to have you. We will see you tomorrow. Have a productive day. Connie says, open a drawer and start throwing away. Absolutely. And I have some drawers at home I need to take that advice on, Connie. So thank you so much for sharing with us. Bye-bye.